The major lessons that we draw is to do with working and involving the media in our governance work. I think the case of, for example, Accord here in Uganda is one very typical example where they have involved and worked with the media to further the advocacy work, but also to make the linkages with the communities and the general public, raise awareness, take information down, but also bring information up so that they can use it to engage with stakeholders and decision makers within the overall sector service delivery framework. I think another lesson that we have learned is the whole aspect of planning for impact, the use of the theory of change, beginning to plan with the end in mind. What is it that we want to see changed? What are the factors that are critical for that particular change to happen? Where do we need to put the resources, and how the whole process needs to involve others. You need to work with others, draw resources that are available so that you can achieve what you need to achieve. I think the last aspect is the structural challenges that exist across countries, especially with WASH networks. I think I've also observed that the challenges seem to be similar among the several countries that have participated in this meeting. And that's something that I think for us, we draw lessons from, and we also draw comfort to say the challenges that we have faced are not unique to us, but that others are facing them, and then we can draw on the lessons of how others address them. For example, in Ghana, CONWAS have a fairly developed model from the standard model, where the role, for example, of water aid is a lot less pronounced than it was before. And that, I think, for me, is very fundamental. There are other various minor variations of that particular structural model, and that's something that we want to draw lessons on. Well, I think one critical issue is the engagement with the leadership, the administration, it's particularly within the Luapula program. It's something that is beginning to give an indication that I think we might be able to have greater impact there. There is a clear commitment to transparency and accountability. There is also commitment to addressing the challenges. But over and above that, we are beginning to engage a lot more in budget advocacy and service audit, for example. And that work, we have built capacity at the grassroots. We've also built capacity of our CSO partners to engage in that work. I think that's where our key lessons and achievements would be. But also that at the central level, we have engaged with government on the sanitation and water for all partnership, to the extent that government now is committed to fully participate in that particular platform, but also to use it to harness our advantage and build on that. But also that the GTF project is coming to an end, but we've also planned to embed and to mainstream governance and accountability work in our, and going forward, that should be the case. For us, I think the emphasis will have to be on planning for impact. We need to ensure that all our efforts are structured and they are targeted. And that means the change that we want to see happen is where we will have to start from. And then we will try and galvanize the efforts of all the key stakeholders. We will make sure that our efforts are targeted and government is involved and properly informed and engaged with, to ensure that we can bring about the much desired changes. And then ultimately people should have greater access to facilities, and that means better lives. So what we do is for example, we have the African Network of Environmental Journalists. We have just begun to actually engage with them a lot more to ensure that as a platform, we use it for the purposes of communicating and profiling WASH, because WASH is one of those sectors that, within the development sectors, is very, very invisible and it's not properly profiled. So going forward, we want to see a situation where we can engage and involve the media in our work, because going alone, we won't get there. But if we bring the media along, we can achieve a lot more.